Detective Unk on the scene. A good cameraman always allows the detective to give back shots. We're currently in the projects. We could be attacked by a YN at any given moment. A good detective always detects, regardless of the weather.
That was a good line. I like that.
Thank you. God damn. See this shit? This could be snow. A good detective always abuses their cameraman. Rumor has it, there's a clue around here that'll help us find what's ruining DBD matches right now in 2026. Oh, you see that, bro? You see that? As someone who's been using Sprint Burst for the past 5 years, making this video really hurts. But if I'm going to be honest and talk about anything balance related, I think it's important that I'm as unbiased as I can possibly be. I will be excluding background player, dramaturgy, head on, smash hit, and overcome, because these perks are either inconsistent or they're not used to make distance, which is the strongest thing about an exhaustion perk. I want to briefly talk about Dead Hard as well. Unfortunately, it is not a perk that always works. If you were able to proc it 100% of the time, it would be the best exhaustion perk. It probably would be the best perk in the game, period. But unfortunately, killers know now not to swing right away. It's easy to bait out. If it wasn't for that, it would be the best. So what you're looking at right now is Coal Tower. This is the reference map that I'm going to be using to show my examples and demonstrations on exhaustion perks. You can imagine this with any other map. We're just using Coal Tower. We're going to start off with Balanced Landing. In Coal Tower, there's a guaranteed spot where you can always proc your Balanced Landing. Each time, this will always be here. You run upstairs, you fall, you will be able to use Balanced Landing. This map also spawns hills. On average, you're probably just going to get one. So let's just say it spawns here. You have 2 places where you can always run to proc your Balanced Landing. Now let's talk about Life. Life is pretty good on this map. You have main window that always spawns. You have shack window. If you're lucky, you get a lot of tiles. They all have windows. Maybe let's say a hill spawns here or something, or maybe it doesn't. Let's say if you're really lucky, you get all these places that you can vault from that has a window. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 7 places where you can vault from with Life. Minus pallets, because unless the killer breaks them, it's not really relevant. But you have a lot of options for you to use Life on this map. So as you can see, there are certain places on the map where you can proc Balanced Landing and Life. Now let's talk about Sprint Burst. You can proc Sprint Burst anywhere on this map. It does not matter where you are, what's happening. You can literally proc this at any given moment, whenever you want, even at a window. You can even, if you time your exhaustion just right, use Sprint Burst as Life. So Sprint Burst can be procced anywhere. There are no places where it needs to be done for it to proc. And part of what makes this possible is the ability to 99 your Sprint Burst. Now some people will say, oh, this is like a skill expression, this is something that's like not easy to do. Honest to God, I don't agree with that at all. I think once you get used to Sprint Burst, it is super easy to proc. It's not some high skill ceiling thing where you need to learn how to like do some crazy maneuver in order to make it happen. No, you just walk a little bit and chase, spend more time walking. Once the exhaustion bar is really close to being depleted, you just run around as long as you can until you find a good moment to let go of the run button, and then you tap it again, and then you run away. It's really not that hard. It's a very low skill floor type of thing to do. Like, it's really very, very easy to proc once you get used to Sprint Burst. If you don't know how to use it, then it's not easy, but I can assure you this is not something that requires a lot of skill. The thing about Balanced Landing is that you need to go to specific locations to proc it. Sometimes there's a 3-gen there. Sometimes you're going against a killer that insta-downs you and you may not have time to get there. Sometimes you might go against a stealth killer that catches you off guard and you don't get the chance to even use the perk. And the same could be said for life. Life is really strong, but there are moments in this game where you vault a window and you may not actually have a place to go to when you use it because the killer can cut you off after you vault the window. So more often than not, you can use it and will make distance, but there are moments where you may not be able to use it effectively. Now let's focus in a little more on Sprint Burst. Yes, we know it can be used anywhere, but what makes Sprint Burst so unbelievably strong? For me, it's the fact that you can 99 it and use it when you make a mistake. It reminds me very much of very old Dead Hard, when you used to be able to Dead Hard for distance. Oh, I didn't make this window? Oh, let me just Dead Hard. Now I make the window. Oh no, I'm not going to make this window. Oh, well, guess what? I 99 my sprint. I'm out of here. Now I make the window. Now the chase gets extended for another, 15, 20 seconds, maybe even longer. If a stealth killer approaches you and you have sprint burst, you're fine. More often than not, you make the distance. If you see a ghost face coming at you, if you see a wraith in the distance, if you see a Myers, if you see a stealth killer approaching you, you have all the distance you can make. You don't have to worry about a window or falling from a great height to proc it. You see the killer coming, you run. All you gotta do is just run to use it. Another thing I want to talk about is the sprint burst, vigil, and sometimes fixated combo. Vigil and fixated go hand in hand with sprint burst. It is such an unbelievably strong combination. You don't really see a lot of people running life fixated vigil or balance landing fixated vigil. It's really a sprint burst only thing. I think the only way we can deal with that combo is if we do something about sprint burst itself. To me, sprint burst is the most overlooked survivor perk in the game right now. It is the get me out of jail card. It is the oh no, I made a mistake, let me push this button and I can erase all those mistakes perk. It is very, very, very strong. So now that leaves us with the question, what can we do with Sprint Burst to make it balance with the other Exhaustion perks? I don't think we can touch its proccing mechanic. You're always going to have to run and push a button, and that's the only way that you're going to make it work. I feel like that's part of its core gameplay. However, we can touch the speed of Sprint Burst, we can touch the condition needed to proc Sprint Burst, and my least favorite being we can limit the amount of times you can use Sprint Burst. So I'll start with the one that I like the least. You can not touch Sprint Burst at all, keep the speed, keep the proccing conditions, and make it to where you can only use it one time per hook stage. So when you first spawn in, you can use it once, when you get hooked once, you can use it then, and when you get hooked a second time, you can use it then. I don't like that idea, but it's something. I was going to say these two things separately, but I think it's better to put them together. I think if you bring down the speed a little bit and change the condition needed to proc, you would have a more balanced perk. And what you can do with that is maybe make it to where you can only be healthy when you use Sprint Burst. And I feel like this is a fair trade-off. You're making more distance than you would with any other Exhaustion perk. So the trade-off is, sure, you can make things you otherwise wouldn't make. You can use it whenever you want. But you have to be healthy when you use it. So all of those times where you've made loops that you otherwise wouldn't have made, a little bit of that time also has to go in making sure that you're healthy. And bringing down the speed a little bit as well still would make it a really good perk. It doesn't have to be 150 speed. You can easily bring it down to maybe 135, 140. You would still move really fast, you just won't be moving at Mach speed. Anyways, that's all I got in terms of balancing Sprint Burst. I think a little bit of tweaking in the perk would be fine. I mean, Dead Hard is still as strong as it is, despite all the nerfs that it receives, so nerfing Sprint Burst wouldn't be the end of Sprint Burst. If you want to have any sort of DBD discussions, you can find me on Twitch at Adrian. I am live every other day, trying to do every day, but I have a very physical job, so sometimes I get really tired, so I'm not always on. But I'm trying to be more active in the community, so check me out there. I will be live, and I will see you guys later.
Real parkour expert here. 6, 7.
Let me get my fit. I gotta get ready in this bitch.
Here we are in the jungle with Adrian in a winter storm. But how will it affect him? He's already walking like he got dick in the butt. But does he have dick in the butt? He does not.
Bro.
The type of detective Adrian is.
don't even work, bro. Oh my god, it's so cold.